Welcome back, everybody. You might be wondering, why on why earth do we have so many players playing what looks to be a free-for-all battle? Well, it's not. It's a 2v2v2v2. And this is a really important 2v2v2 because this one will determine which of the players gets to pick their opponents in the semifinals. Pricing for this pretty much equates to $0, but could equate to an easier semifinals match. We have EU players versus NA players. I don't know who's thinking who's easier in this. But one thing's for certain, we've taken this to Beast of the Hill, a map which many of you should be familiar with, but for those who don't know, a real quick summary is it has a King of the Hill win condition. So you can still win the game as if you were playing this in any other way, eliminate everybody else. However, you can also steal victory by getting the middle of the map 3 times. We've set the timer very low to 2 minutes, and while normally in this game mode, you actually have a small advantage of minerals gained for owning the center point, we've turned that off for this, as pros are going to be a little too good with their macro, I think. So the only thing they're really competing for is this point or killing everybody else standard style. But yeah, to the bottom left, we have a combination of Blade Master and Infinity, the North American team qualifying through the second 2v2 tournament. To the bottom right, we have the EU Bros. We've got Team Liquid's Euthermal and his ally Goblin. Top right, the combination of Hearthstone and Denver. These were the first players to qualify through the first qualifier. And then to the top left, definitely not least, we have the last team introduced, Knight and Crucial Nug. These two were a huge surprise. They came out to keep playing in qualifiers even after they had qualified, just because they love 2v2s so much. And a really interesting dynamic about all of this that won't factor into this match really at all, but will matter for later. The NA teams are both 2v2 pros. 2v2 players who focus on 2v2 and not 1v1 for Starcraft. Well, the other ones obviously consist of European pros. So it's very interesting seeing how these are all going to collide and clash here. But as you just saw there, the first point went to Team Liquid's Euthermal. Now the players can see the middle of the map at all times, and they can also see their scoreboards. Oh my god, the team colors are messing this up. They can see the scoreboard at all time. I have to toggle this on. So we know that it's 1 point on the board for our purple team. Now to win this, even though it's a team game, you still need the points individually. So we never ever really want to see Goblin on that point unless it's contesting somebody else, because you want to feed Euthermal the points to get that quick win. Now this game could theoretically be over in 6 minutes. That's as fast as this could possibly finish if Euthermal got all 3 points back to back to back to back. I think I put 1 too many backs in there. Regardless, the prize of being able to pick your opponent for the semifinals, to choose who you want to face off against, is huge. I just hope that whoever wins doesn't underestimate the other players in this tournament. This 2v2 tournament has created some very fascinating games through the previous events, and if you haven't seen them, I highly recommend the Crucial Nug and Knights games, honestly, above all else. These two really surprised me. 2 players I didn't really recognize, but now I have respect for in the 2v2 scene. Blade Master and Infinity, a little cheesy on their run through, but still really good 2v2 dynamics. And of course, have little bits of harassment here and there and pretty much everywhere, but of course, 28 seconds, the middle of the map becomes open. Knight sitting there with Nug. A lot of Reaper grenades could throw people off the point. We've seen this happen before in a lot of our amateur play. And if I know many people watching this may have never seen Beast of the Hill before, I gotta tell you, this is the best mode to play with people who don't know what they're doing. Now, because the middle of the map is always revealed, there's no detection here, but other players can see what units are there. Oh, that's so awkward. If you're not standing on the point. Oh no. By the way, if you guys want to get a first-person point of view, Hearthstone did mention he was streaming his matches today, so he's probably streaming the first-person point of view of this if you want to take a peek. Over yonder, his stream, it's just twitch.tv/Hearthstone. Hearthstone's a really good guy, and I love giving him shout-outs. But while that may have been an awkward blip here for the blue team, it doesn't seem to be changing too much in terms of their dynamic. They're really setting control over the middle of the map. They got creep spread over there, some tumors. Meanwhile, down to the south, Goblins roasting up Infinity. Remember, Infinity's one of the NA players coming over here. Probably not too used to playing Goblin on the ladder, but while damage is dealt, you can certainly bridge that damage. You got a teammate to cover your ass, so Blade Master's going to set up a wall of Marines to prevent that from happening again. Queens in the middle of the map are going to be extremely robust. And you cannot build on this point. I'm gonna make that very clear. You can build around it, but you cannot build on it. So you could theoretically wall it off, but just having the spine crawlers in range to assist with the fight is already gonna be pretty huge. Now, while these guys might wrestle some early game control of this, they've kind of shown their hand. There's no bluff here with poker. And like in poker, and Hearthstone and Denver have actually, they can see all of this happening and just play around it. In fact, we already see Immortals coming out of Goblin, for example, just ways to bust through. Hearthstone's harassment, by the way, getting recalled out of the base. I didn't even realize how many stalkers he had over there. I just thought that little blip on the minimap, but 20 seconds to go-ish, and then the next point becomes up for contest. Another round of Hellions, but oh, Blade Master pulls back to it just the wrong time. He was stacked up on a nice thin wall. If you're clumped up, the Hellions will have the advantage. Kill Males, thank you very much for the bits, man. I'll read that message in a moment if we get a breathing room. Of course, up here, Denver has been sneakily making his way towards Swarm Hosts. Looks like he's going to be sending those over to Knight's base. Knight, who has been relatively all in with this. I mean, all of his infrastructure went towards controlling the middle of the map. So he's going to lose this base, and he doesn't really have a way to contest this. Denver could keep harassing him over and over and over again. But they do have that first point on the board. And like I said, they want to funnel it to one player, so Knight will probably be the one trying to claim the rest of the points. One little thing to add in here, not that we're getting there yet, but just so everyone has general knowledge, there is a priority system for the points as well. It's ground units have priority over air units. So even if you were to, say, rest 90 Broodlords over the point, as long as one Zergling ran underneath them, the Zergling would actually be the one to take the point. I don't know if that'll come into effect this game, but it's worth noting because it's made some very dynamic steals. We've had a lot of very crazy upsets when we play this with the amateur scene. Denver continuing to harass northwards here with a lot of swarm hosts. I mean, this is not gonna they're gonna be like half health by the time they reach the base, but that's plenty. Reaper grenades could actually be really useful here. The Reaper damage itself is pretty good too, but just blow the locusts out of the way, because of course locusts are really time dependent more than necessarily life dependent. Having those grenades to blast them off the building actually probably helps a ton there. That's a fascinating Nidus Swarm combo out of Hearthstone and Denver. Hearthstone provides the vision here with the Observer, and the Nidus Swarm goes into a place that is relatively unpathable and usually unseen, and he'll be able to easily launch locusts at either of these players. I gotta imagine Euthrummel's gotta be one of the targets on this one. He's a very strong player in this game. Not somebody you want to just like let get away with whatever they like. Euthrumel has seen this too. But even with all these swarm hosts, you see with the Phoenix coming in, there's just so many swarm hosts, even splitting, he splits them up a little bit. I love the landing. He's going to force the Phoenix to Graviton Beam if he wants them at all. You don't oftentimes get to see swarm host micro, much less be appreciative of it, but shout out to Denver. Now it looks like there was a scuffle here in the middle of the map, and Knight and Nug unfortunately didn't coordinate that well, so crucial Nug. He wins the round by accident. Remember, they were trying to feed one of these two players. Now I guess it doesn't matter because they're both on 1 point. But neither are close to winning the game because they need 3 to win. So we have some serious battles going on the outskirts of this game, and I love that Swarm Host move. I'm so obsessed with it. Of course, with all the army units away, Hearthstone's left at home to defend. Viking's gonna land to remove the Nidus Swarm. A little bit of mutual help there from the Stalkers. Scans over to see what's going on. I don't know if Hearthstone, he's got more plans here. That Observer's sitting. He's gonna try to get another Nidus up. But Denver's not gonna let the cooldown. He's not gonna let the cooldown go. He just continues to send Swarm Host and Swarm Host after Knight, who, by the way, might just be out of the game at this rate. He's got no bases. Yeah, his ally could send him some minerals, but every time he rebuilds anything, it's going to be harassed over and over and over again. If can you better read that bits message? Okay, I'm so sorry. What is this? Kill Males with the 1,000 bits. Thank you very much. Says, so you're a tough guy, like a really rough guy, just can't get enough guy, just always so puff guy. I'm the bad type, make your mama sad type. I can't do the song, I can't sing. Make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type. I'm the bad guy, duh. There you go. I read it. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? No one's using my strat. I know nukes would actually be phenomenal to the middle of the map right now. What I love about this is we actually have a cool, kind of some self-appointed pros. Oh, that's obnoxious. We have some like self-appointed pros in the chat. The amateur players who have played this game mode many times and have actually defeated other pros. Chiming in here. This must be a treat for you guys. Oh, I love lifting the queens. Oh, you thermal goblet. That was so sick. They just stole the point. Thermal now has 2 points on the board, and Thermal is 1 away from winning. Oh my god, though, to remove the body block, that was insane. That type of coordination is unreal. And the fact that it comes out of a 2v2 makes me all the more happy. But well, that was really cool. This game's still not over until Thermal actually takes that last point. Couple of disruptor shots gonna slowly uproot these spine crawlers. Man, these guys got such early game control, and I love what they've done here in the middle of the map, but it just that miscontrol with the point system. If Knight was up 2 points right now, and this third one was coming right up, this game could be over. Oh, you've figured out the bot is on, have you? Well played. Oh my god, how many swarm? Denver has 39 swarm hosts. He doesn't have to mix in other units because Hearthstone will cover all his weak spots. So he's actually just throwing 39 swarm hosts with a locust into the middle of the map, and who cares because they're free units. Disruptors take out one of those big tanks too. Oh my god, this is getting rough. Don't forget, Goblin Thermal sitting there with 40 seconds to go, probably planning their next move. We have a lot of Phoenix here ready to swoop in once more, maybe pick up those units, but there's some body blocking now through buildings around the point. It'll be a lot more difficult to run in there and steal the point the way they did before. I'm loving these moves. I'm loving the moves out of the amateurs. I'm loving the moves out of the pros. Open to that doorway though. Hearthstone really wants to get on that point. More to the point, he wants to stop Knight from getting another point on the board. Sadly, without any kind of mic or static defense here, simply won't hold up. And this bottom side, you know what? We haven't seen these guys all game. I don't know where these two have been, but Infinity and Blade Master having a massive army between the two of them. Blade Master's the only guy fully maxed out next to Denver. I'm gonna lose all my frames. Goblin wins the round with a Phoenix. Okay, so there's some cool explanation to explain what just happened there. But before we do, let's watch the chaos. My frame rate dropped to nothing. I gotta, oh my god, dominance from Red gleaming up the bottom side. All these other teams have been sleeping on Red. Red, between Stalkers and Marines, it's just unstoppable. Even if you get those disruptors in, man, god damn, that's a lot of stuff. Yeah, exactly. But okay, as I mentioned before, there's a priority system, and you might be thinking, wait a minute, how did the air units get the point if it was about ground having priority? Free units have a lower priority than other real units. So because the point was covered and smothered in swarm hosts and locusts due to Denver, whoa, what the fuck? Everything was pushed off the point, so the only units that could have actually taken the point other than the free units were the air units. So Goblin, okay, not great, but it denies a point from another player. So still good for Team Purple. Purple's looking like they're going to win this at this rate. They keep this up. I'm loving the just mass drops going on over here. Somehow, well, there's nothing going on. There's still something going on. And Denver's really starting to feel the burn, but I don't think he's so worried about running out of minerals. If I click on his resources here, Denver has 3,500 minerals banked. I know you can't see this because of the overlay so easily, but Denver has 3,500 minerals and 1,000 gas in his pocket. Even if he loses all these bases, rebuilding's not part of the equation because he already has the army of locusts that he gets to use freely over and over again. Meanwhile, civil war here amongst Team NA. I don't know, these guys are pushing through to the top, but really, these are not the targets. Purple's got to be the target for this. Oh my god, the Phoenix, I'm waiting for the pickup, man. This is going to be ridiculous. Red's got a really strong presence. Remember, these guys have no points between them. Being remodeled by the enemy. They have no points between them. They've got total biscuit on their side. The point's contested. How is... Oh, because two of the team are on it. One of them has to walk off so the other can control it. I don't think they know this. I explained this to them. Only one person can be on point. There you go. Blade Master gets the point. That was a little difficult. That was a little bit more difficult than it needed to be. Another round of Swarm Host. Oh my god. The stim for the Marines, though. I think there's more damage going after the siege tanks. The friendly fire here just tearing the Marines to pieces. But Infinity and Blade Master, Team Red manages to maintain a pretty much maxed out army supply through this. Thermal and Goblin are doing very well as well. That small encroachment to the middle of the map. Vision, of course, provided thanks to the middle of the map vision. And some Liberators too, despite the missile turrets. Look at this, they planned for this. They planned for this. But even then, that's too many siege tanks. They can't push this back. All they can do really is yield some positioning and try and snake the point at the last moment. Meanwhile, Locusts come in. Oh, Hearthstone's got a whole lot of disruptors. I've never seen a game where everybody's maxed out, because every time we play this, it's so scrappy and desperate and nobody's doing well. But in this game, 8 pro players have met up, and this is the most insane 2v2v2v2 I've ever seen in my life. This might be the only 2v2v2v2 I've seen in my life, much less on this scale, this caliber. Going back to the points once again, it's up for contest in 45 seconds. 2 points for Euthermal. If Euthermal could somehow sneak a unit onto the point and steal it, this game will end. Oh my god. Oh, bunkers with building armor do not get a bonus here versus Disruptor, sadly. I kind of forgot about blue. For no reason whatsoever, red's poking the bear and incurring the wrath of siege tanks on both sides. There's a lot of defense being played here. Everyone is just encroaching on that circle. 10 seconds to go. You can take this point with a mule. I want to drive that home real quick. You can absolutely take this point with a mule if there's nothing else on it. But with Swarm Host doing it, no, Blade Master still gets the point because of the Medivacs. Oh my god. Now we have a serious contender for first place. If Blade Master can just basically not fuck up. His army's been shredded to bits, but if Blade Master can just get the type of units there to the middle of the map on the next point, he or Euthermal could end this game. Euthermal's obviously looking to be a lot better poised for this, and frankly, Blade Master and Infinity have to somewhat rely on Hearthstone here, hoping Hearthstone and Denver pave the way for them to steal victory. There's hard lady detection, just constant scans, yeah. I mean, now we start seeing some advanced tactics here. We got infestors, pathaging lands. I love the idea of fungal growth here. It's going to stop all these stalkers from blinking. There's also just so many targets to hit. Fungal growth is going to just naturally do a ton of damage. Oh my god, what's going on here? We having a party, dudes? Woo! Okay, Goblin's got a really scary army. I really like what he has. Him and Hearthstone both have amazing support staff for their armies. And Denver, well, maybe not as convincing of, like, I guess Denver's kind of the supporter, actually. I take that back. With all these Swarm Hosts, just flood them off the bottom. You guys need to attack him where it's the end. I mean, everybody, this is where this gets intense, and this is where this gets really tight. Don't have much. Truth. They ain't lying. All they can do is really hope to sneak one in there towards the end. Remember, Knight's got a point on the board, so does Nug. But this is like where exhaustion and attrition comes into play. Bases are mined out for teams across the board. 10 seconds to go. Euthermal's got a pretty good stronghold here in the middle of the map. I don't know if they can uproot this in 10 seconds, but they're going for broke. Zealots break through to the siege tanks. It's the Medivacs that have to be on the point, but the Medivacs can't take the point if there's Phoenix and Carriers here too. Blade Master somehow steals the point. What did he have there? Hold up. How did he? Hold up. We got to go back in time here. We got to do this, like a photo fucking finish right now. What did Blade Master have? I thought he just had oh, I think there might have been a Marine on the point. Hang on, look at this. Because yeah, look, SCVs and everything. Oh my god, no way. Denver Swarm Hosts. Oh my god, they barely push in there. Okay, congratulations to Blade Master and Infinity on winning the seeding match.